energy-related improvements for low and moderate income homeowners.
Nice.
We have a representative from Habitat for Humanity. So we're gonna ask you to come on up to the microphone. That one right there. Which are, both work,
You
right?
can sit down, yeah, that's fine, if you like.
And if you could please have your name and your position with Habitat for Humanity.
I'm Susan Harkins. I'm the Director of Resource Development at Raritan Valley Habitat for Humanity.
And Ms. Harkins, where is Habitat for Humanity located?
We're located at 285 Route 202, 206 in Bedminster.
Okay, great. Why don't you tell us about the application and the reason that you need Bedminster Township's endorsement or support for their application?
No problem. Raritan Valley Habitat for Humanity is applying for our first time for community development block grants. These funds are administered through Somerset County. They are available to help rehabilitate housing in Somerset County. Raritan Valley Habitat for Humanity has a home repair program. Because we don't want to duplicate any services that exist in the county, because there is a handyman program, our application for the Community Development Block Grant is for what we call critical repairs, repairs that are over $5,000. And to meet the need that's called out in the Community Development Block Grant for energy-related services and improvements, we've specified that we're requesting subsidy funding through the Community Development Block Grant for projects that are over $5,000 that will offer furnaces, any kind of HVAC improvements to a low or moderate income homeowner. Our home repair programs only serve low and moderate income homeowners. So HVAC, roofing repairs, window, like weather-related repairs such as doors or window replacements. These are the types of projects that we would use the community block development grant funds for. The reason we're coming to Bedminster Township for support is because as a requirement of the community development block grant, one must have a sign-off from the municipality in which they're located to show a sponsorship or an awareness of the program, and a public hearing such as this, so that any members of the public have the opportunity to make comment or ask questions, to comment on our application.
Okay.
So, if I may.
Go ahead.
First off, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for selecting Bedminster to call home.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate that, and like having you here. The request from the township, does it in any way obligate the township to do anything, to pay for anything, to have any sort of legacy costs associated with the block grants?
That's a great question, and the answer is no.
Thank you.
No, it's entirely our program, and the funding from the Community Development Block Grant will support the cost of the repair.
Thank you.
So one of the questions I do have, and I because we apply for CDBG funds as well.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions that I have, and Gina and Colin
We're
are liaisons, is whether or not our sponsor of this application jeopardizes or otherwise compromises our ability to get CDBG funds out of the county, or is your application falling under the Bedminster ledger and, you know, hey, there's only so much money the county grants if Bedminster is a sponsor of Habitat for Humanity, and your program is countywide or multi-county, or how does?
It is countywide. However, there are 4 municipalities that won't be impacted by this program, by the funds from this grant. Those are, Bedminster is not one of them. Let me see if I can remember them. It's Franklin, because they apply for their own community development block grants for this purpose.
Okay.
And also and they administer that program themselves. It's also Greenbrook, Watchung, and North Plainfield, because those 3 municipalities don't fall into our serving area. They're served by a different Habitat affiliate. So to further answer your question, I've never applied for community block grant money, but I know that it is not considered your application, not considered Bedminster's application. It is definitely considered Raritan Valley Habitat's application. This is the forum for public comment that's required. And I don't know if you're applying for funds this year, if you've had to do public comment.
Yeah, so
also.
I can probably answer that. So
Okay.
I've sat on calls where you have to approve applications, and we vote on to approve funding or not approve funding for certain organizations. So the mayor or whoever is representative for that town is on, but it's a completely separate application. So they're letting the person know, hey, you guys sponsored this application, so we're letting you know, like, yes, we're approving it, but the funds have nothing to do with the municipality whatsoever.
So our ability to pursue
Has
separate
nothing to do with that.
CDBG.
For
okay.
example, CDBG will give money during COVID for whatever, remember they were giving money. And that is specifically allotted to the municipality. It has nothing to do with like those grants, and those grants likewise have nothing to do with the municipality. It's just you're sponsoring it because it's in your town.
So sponsoring this doesn't compromise us on
Correct.
any future grants that we may do this calendar year.
Yes.
And I guess the only other question is, do you coordinate with, how do you get this word out? Our affordable housing manager is CGPH. So if you're bringing this to Bedminster residents, how do you promote this program through Habitat for Humanity to the population that you're looking to serve?
Okay, great question. And that's a question on the application. So we have many ways that we do that. We certainly do it through our social media, our website. We publicize press releases when we do projects. And so we announce, hey, we did Joe's house. And this happens to be a homeowner that we did help. And this is what we did. And if you would like home repairs, please contact us. So that's a publication in a newspaper outlet. The other way we do it is by attending community events and spreading the word through networking that we do for our program in general. Also, when we send out appeals, we make it well known that we have this program and invite people to let other people know about it. Also, through partnerships that we have with organizations that serve the population that we're looking to serve also.
So, so to that extent, to that point, I just want to say, so you would then have some form of a flyer that you would
Yes.
then share with us, and then we could share with our affordable housing liaison.
Right. Although this isn't for affordable housing
No,
per
no,
se.
I meant
Right. This
for
is
homeowners who are lower moderate income.
exactly.
So
exactly.
anybody really could apply.
So
Right.
do the applicants have to be income qualified
The
to
applicant-
receive the benefit?
Yes, they must be income qualified to receive benefit.
And so who's running the process and the work of collecting the information and doing the income qualification?
Our homeowner services manager.
Okay.
We have a staff member dedicated to that, particularly on these larger projects, because we will extend a loan if they can't afford to pay their fair share of the payment costs. We have a sliding scale based on income. So for example, in the lowest income bracket, it would be, they pay 10% of the project cost. So the rest is being subsidized through this subsidy, but that probably wouldn't even cover the whole project. So then we have other grants that are dedicated towards home repairs that we'd use to offset the costs that we incur to accomplish the project. So the homeowners are put through a vetting process because we theoretically can extend them a loan. We extend them a 0% interest loan so that they're able to slowly but surely pay for the repair so that they can remain in their home.
And this is not necessarily restricted housing. This is strict. So just to be clear,
Yeah,
they're not living in affordable housing, whether it's low, very low, or moderate. This is, as long as you are income qualified, it doesn't matter if you live in a big old house. It's
Exactly,
not restricted as long as you're income qualified.
exactly.
You're eligible for the program.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's right.
Any further questions?
No, that's great. Thank you for that.
So,
Do
I'm
you feel
sorry.
that we need to get a confirmation on the eligibility, or are we good with what we've heard tonight?
The eligibility as far as,
That we're not, by sponsoring, we're not jeopardizing what we otherwise.
I mean,
have.
you can confirm it with Kimberly, but yes, that is correct. Because like, for example, the Arc of Somerset applies for a grant, and whatever town is located in, the representative knows about it, but it has nothing to do with the town. The grant goes to the Arc of Somerset.
Burners, these are fairly routine. I see about 2, 3, 4 a year.
Your understanding's the same?
Yeah, they're CDBG grants. They just need to come.
Okay.
They come before us, but they're not, as
Mhm.
Gina said,
Right.
they're not our grant.
Mhm.
Okay. And since this is a public hearing on your application and there's an opportunity for the we were supposed to give the opportunity for the public
Right.
to ask questions and participate. So we will open up the microphone and Zoom to any members of the public who have questions or comments regarding Habitat for Humanity's application. Once again, if you're in person, come on up to the microphone. By Zoom, take your cursor, scroll down, click on reactions, click on raise hand, and you'll be put in queue.
I'm not seeing any comments there.
Okay. Since this, I guess, is technically a public hearing, take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved?
Second?
Guess we'll
Thank
do it
you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And John, do we do a motion for endorsement or?
You can, or you just do a voice vote. You can just say all in favor.
All in favor of supporting and sponsoring Habitat for Humanity's
Aye.
application?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Good
Thank
luck with the
you.
Good
application.
luck.
Thank you.
And Robin is saying, I need to sign it now.
You do, because she needs to take it with her if you don't mind. And if you could just forward me a copy,
Oh,
since you're
yes.
taking my original.
Yeah. It
Okay.
needs a seal from what I saw.
I can do that too, but I can't do it right now.
No, understood. Yeah.
So you can wait.
So we could either
We
take a,
can take a 2-minute break if you
take
like.
a 2-minute break?
No, I can wait. If you want, we can take a quick break if you like.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay,
Get you out of here.
let me just, I'll stop the recording.
It is 7:21 and we are back from our brief recess, ready to move on with the rest of the meeting. So we have permits and raffles, and what we're going to do is we're going to consider one special use permit first before we get on to the rest of our permits and raffles. So what we're going to consider first is special use permit for Delicious Heights. And this is to renew the special use permit for the outside tent from April 1, 2023 through October 15, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Delicious Heights, 385 Main Street. So we have a representative from Delicious Heights tonight.
Correct, yes.
And your name and position with Delicious Heights?
My name is Ryan Bernosky. I'm the new facilities operational manager.
Ryan Renowski from DH. Okay, Ryan, why don't you walk us through the special use permit? We've done this, I think we've done this, this is the third year we're doing the special use permit.
Sounds right.
So why don't you
We
take
did
us
some
through?
updates to it. I don't know, Robin, if it may not be reflected on the most recent of the original one that we put in, but we've done some updates to it as far as what we're going to be placing there. Originally, we were going to do some planters. We still are, but we're going to add these giant, large galvanized troughs or tubs and make them planters as well. Willing to paint them a black color if needed.
So,
I'm sorry?
They have copies of the old and the new.
They do, okay.
so
okay.
I have a do we? I mean, I have a copy of one that shows two of those, I guess the galvanized metal with the arborvitae in between, is that,
That's the new.
That was done this morning, just to show you what we're gonna do. The galvanized tubs will end up putting more arborvitaes and some flowers in it as well. So we're gonna do two of the galvanized tubs on the Hillside Ave entrance, two in the parking lot to block off another section, and three to block off the other entrance of the parking lot.
and Robin, you said that, so Paul originally had concerns about just using the arborvitae planters, and that's after Paul's comment, you guys came back with the galvanized tubs. And Robin, Paul's indicated he's approving the galvanized tubs?
Yes, I sent him over, well, originally, both he and Susanna reviewed the original plan. They felt that the original planters were not substantial enough. So I did, when Ryan sent me over the new pictures this morning, I sent them right over to Paul and Susanna, and they both felt comfortable that this meets their needs. The galvanized tubs are definitely much more substantial, would prevent cars from turning into the parking lot from Hillside Avenue.
And Ryan, this drawing shows tables inside the tent and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tables outside the tent.
Correct.
Has that always been that way?
You know, I'm sorry, I can't speak 100% on that. I believe there were always some tables outside, but I'm
So
not.
is this the same amount of tables?
It should be the same amount. It's the same area, size area that we've always put it in, so it should be the same.
So I will say, when we started doing these, we started doing this in anticipation of the need to work with all the restaurants during COVID. And while historically, I think there was a sense that Bedminster was against outside dining, I don't know where that came from, because that's certainly not the case. And we certainly know it's been successful for Delicious Heights. I do have a couple comments. One is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. sounds awful early because we've seen, I mean, I've been there
Yeah.
under that tent. I think most of us have been well after 7 o'clock. So is that a change? Is that?
I'd have to find out for you.
So like last seating or something?
It might be the last seating as opposed to when anybody's not allowed out there. I mean, if you have an objection to anybody being out there past 7, then obviously we could put a time on.
Well, I just don't want to be in a position where we approve a permit
Understood.
and then it's being violated on a regular basis. So,
Right.
I mean,
Somebody comes in and says, well.
you only gave them, you gave them
yeah,
authority to
I
go to
saw
7.
people
And they
here
were,
at 8, and they're making noise and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So just make sure it's accurate, so you get the hours you want as approved by the government.
Yeah.
right, I mean, we could take a motion to approve it tonight, and you could come back after talking to, management to see if that's the timeline.
I'd like to do that, yeah. I like, the main thing is for us to get the permit going, to get the tent up. I could iron out the fine details of the times like that, no problem, and get back to all of you.
And I think my other comment is just to put it into context with what the Pluckman Inn did. So the Pluckman Inn, the first 2 years was living with, I don't want to say sort of an ad hoc outdoor dining, but they came in under the special use permit as well. And then they moved to a more permanent situation where they permanently blocked off the entrance directly into the Plucky from 202, 206, right up the street from Habitat for Humanity, and made a more permanent situation there. And I think I've raised this to Ralph once before, and my suggestion would be that maybe if we approve this tonight, that over the next year, you guys think about implementing a more permanent
I know they've explored it.
Designed.
Sure.
Like a
Architecture.
patio, like a patio or
Mhm.
something,
Right,
yeah.
right. You know, just,
Understood.
we're ready to work with you, but, you know, the tent and the pavement and everything
Yeah.
else, long-term, there's probably better options you can come up with.
Understood.
I agree with you.
Questions or comments?
As long as the blackened chicken sandwich is still available, we're good.
The burger,
It's very good.
the DH
I
burger.
just stayed at a similar place, Bistro 73 in Burnsville with two other couples on Saturday night, and I didn't even know they had the thing back there.
Oh, yeah, it's so nice.
Beautiful.
Oh, back here,
Yeah.
back there,
I had
yeah.
the first time I ate in the outside,
Yeah.
enclosed.
So if there's no more questions or comments, take a motion to approve the special use permit for Delicious Heights, April 1st through October 15th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., subject to Ryan coming back, possibly to move that 7 p.m. Outer limit.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Say
you,
hi
guys.
to Ralph.
Thank you.
Will do.
Ryan, last year it was till 9 o'clock.
Was it? Okay, I'm gonna see Ralph. Thank you, guys.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other permits and raffles to go through. Next is an annual seasonal farm market permit for Burnt Mill Cider at the Bedminster Farmers Market, River Road Park, May 17th through December 9th. And then a social fair permit to benefit the Raritan Headwaters Association on June 4, 2023, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Fairview Farm Wildlife Preserve. Next, an on-premise merchandise raffle to benefit Hunterton Healthcare Foundation on May 11, 2023, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. Next, an off-premise 50/50 raffle to benefit the Center for Great Expectations on July 18, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. And the last is an on-premise merchandise raffle to benefit the Junior League of Morristown on May 5, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. Any questions or comments regarding any of those permits or raffles? Seeing none, take a motion to approve all of them.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go through monthly report discussions by subcommittee chair, Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I really don't have much to report. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make our sewer meeting due to my day job bleeding over a little bit, so I'll defer to Ms. Ray on that. We've heard from Kevin about the streets. They're dealing with some street lighting up there in the hills. We'll continue to clear out the catch basins. We're still doing that work. I have a historic preservation meeting coming up next week, so we'll report back on that. And that's really all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Gina.
Thank you, Mayor. So I have a rec meeting tomorrow, so I'll have an update for you guys next week. But I did want to mention in our construction department, we have upgraded our digital services to not only is it a New Jersey state requirement that we do so, but also serve our public in a more efficient manner to our spatial data logic portal. So the IT director and the construction department director, construction official, and Ms. Ray, our administrator and clerk, have been working diligently to have this just kind of run smoothly when we first opened it up. So Elliot, our IT director, asked me if I could have a local contractor go on our site and see what's missing. And so I did get a local contractor to do so. And there were some things that were missing, and I was able to send him some information from other neighboring towns that use spatial data logic. And it should go off flawlessly as far as contractors go. We're going to have the option for people to check permit status, and also we'll eliminate a lot of the Oprah request because you'll be able to search up open permits by property address, so for real estate transactions, et cetera, et cetera. So it should be a very efficient system, and as soon as we approve it here, we will be letting the public know. Again, this will not be a big surprise for any contractor because any neighboring town that they do work in also uses spatial data logic. So everyone that wants to use it will have to create an account. You can't just log in and type in a property address, you have to create an account. So that will be something that everybody will do. There'll be QR codes, there'll be hyperlinks straight to our spatial data logic portal for Bedminster. And it should come out, should run smoothly, so we'll see.
What's the timing on going live with spatial data logic?
As soon as we approve it,
As soon as you're okay
We
with it
approve it.
tomorrow morning.
tomorrow morning.
Ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So assuming we approve tonight,
They've been working on it for months now, so it's should run
at our
flawless.
next meeting, which would be in April, it's crazy, could you actually walk us through and put it on Zoom so that everyone can see how it works, how we can see it, how residents who may be watching this meeting or seeing it once it's put in archives, so we get an understanding of how it works and do a little sort of mini tutorial?
Sure, we can
Okay.
do that.
Great.
Absolutely.
And it's very user-friendly, and you're able to see almost in real time the status of permits and inspections. They can upload stuff right from their iPads right then and there. So it's a very efficient system. And like I said, contractors should not have trouble using it. And everyone will have to create an account, residents as well. So
So I will tell you, we are going to put, we're waiting for our Civic Live to post our website, to post a button on an icon. They're doing the programming for that right on the homepage of the website, right? You're by paying taxes, enter SDL, so it's right there on the homepage.
Great. And SDL has the ability to expand to other programs and other services.
yeah, so
That's
for like cat and dog licenses, et cetera, permits and licenses.
So that could be down the line, not yet, but it could be down the line for
Mhm.
processing those other applications.
Right, and they're also Daniel's Law friendly, so.
So
they're-
it blocks
they're one
out
of the
certain
first
information.
organizations to be compliant, so.
So if you want to see, hey, what's going on that project, you might get the information on the project, but you may not get the information about homeowners or
Correct.
names. Got it. Okay. Anything else?
That's all, Mayor.
Okay. So I'll do a quick report on land use board. So we continue to have discussions regarding the master plan, and right now we're in a lull. We don't have any applications pending, certainly none that are midway through. And we're waiting on some applications that may be coming in a month or two, but right now, since we have this lull, we are going through master plan issues and to see if there's anything that we believe needs tweaking, in large part based upon the variances that the land use board has granted from the zoning board perspective. Hey, these are things that residents keep coming to us on variances, and they're either being denied or they're being granted on a routine basis. And if they're being granted on a routine basis, then what's the genesis of having these as variances? So there's been discussions on that, as well as looking at those elements of our master plan that might be considered restrictive, that people aren't even bothering to come before the board, and there might be people making improvements on their homes and therefore not coming to us. So it's something that we're working our way through, several elements of the master plan, and Frank Banish, our town planner, is coming back with some ideas, as well as Paul Ferraro, our engineer, to see what other towns, how they've addressed these issues. There's several elements of the master plan that are Bedminster unique. And so to some extent, we also want to get sort of the history of, okay, why was this put in place 30, 40 years ago? Is this still applicable to the way Bedminster operates today? So we're just going through that, and we'll continue to report on that. Signs, still an issue for the master plan, and I know that the land use board is coordinating with HPC, and Doug, you are involved in that, so that's something that will also be working its way through the land use board on master plan considerations. And I'll stop there. Colin and Renee are not here to talk about their subcommittees, so we'll beg off on that till next month, and we'll turn to Administrator Ray.
Okay, sure. So just a couple updates. IT has installed security cameras inside our administration building, particularly at the entrances, front and rear entrances. We have additional cameras throughout the municipal campus will be installed using a phased approach over the next couple months. With regard to the shared court, the Shared Municipal Courts Service Advisory Committee, SMCSAC, I think it's called, met last Thursday, March 16th, to review the proposed 2023 shared court municipal budget. We had a couple of questions, but Bedminster is the host agency, so it's our responsibility to prepare that budget, and it's actually down $7,388, or roughly 5% over last year. So that's good. I'm trying to get a meeting together for next week for the Sewer Transmission Advisory Board meeting. The budget is completed. It's just been difficult trying to get some of our neighboring towns together. So we'll have that hopefully next week, because everybody needs those numbers for their final budgets. Under miscellaneous topics, Kevin Murray's sitting here right next to me. I just want to say thank you again. Great job to Kevin Murray. The checks actually came in from New Jersey American Water for the paving project. That is payment that the township received in lieu of paving. They were only going to pave half the road, and Kevin negotiated the full roadway, and the township getting the check and doing the job ourselves. So thank you very much.
Once again,
Kevin.
after New Jersey American thought they weren't going to pay or pave. So
Correct.
thank you, Kevin, once again for disabusing them of that notion.
Checks came in so fast, which was terrific.
I know, shocking.
Right? And last but, well, two more things. The Somerset County Board of Elections is looking for registered voters to work on election day. It seems to be something we have a shortage of every year. The position pays $300 a day, and there's online training available, so people don't really have to leave the comforts of their home to do that. Interested parties are asked to call the Board of Elections on 908-231-7086. And we've sent a notice out through various social media platforms and township platforms. So hopefully we'll be able to generate some poll workers for them. And just a reminder that we do have a budget work session meeting coming up, budget work session number 5, and that's March 27th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Ordinances, discussion, introduction, public hearing. We have none. So we will move on to the consent agenda. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items on the consent agenda. These are items of routine nature. Unless any member of the Township Committee wants to pull them off for individual consideration, we can take a motion to approve them en masse. Little fancy.
So I'd like to
Little
move
fancy
that.
word there.
En masse.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Second.
That'll be a roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have one resolution to consider, Resolution 2023-048, and this is the appointment of the court administrator. And Robin, just want to explain why we are doing this. So maybe this is more of a reminder of why we're doing this.
That's correct, Mayor. The Bedminster Township is part of a shared municipal court with the Borough of Peapack and Gladstone, the Borough of Bernardsville, and Township of Bernards. And per our shared services agreement that we just renewed in 2023 through 2025, we are required to have all 4 municipalities sign off on any new appointments. I will tell you that Terry Van Allen, who's been with us just shy of 8 years, is retiring March 31st, so right around the corner. And this resolution appoints Daniela Cordero as the interim court administrator, taking over for Terry. Just a little distinction, Terry is a certified court administrator. Daniela is almost certified. She has her final project to submit, and that will complete her certification. So we are proposing that she be appointed April 1st. There was a interview panel which consisted of members from the Division of Courts, the Judge House, current court administrator, Terry Van Allen, myself, and HR. We made a recommendation to the candidate. Our candidate was then in turn reviewed by Judge Kevin Shanahan at the division, and Daniela Cordero was hands down chosen to be the best candidate for the position.
And we did discuss this, as Robin mentioned, at the Shared Municipal Court Advisory Committee, and it was endorsed by our partner municipalities to proceed with Ms. Cordero as the interim, and I misspoke before when I said we have a resolution for court administrator. This is actually interim court administrator pending Daniela's completion of her project, and then at which time she would be given the full position of court administrator.
That's correct.
I'd just like to draw everybody's attention to make sure that it's clear that the last paragraph is, be it further resolved that upon successful completion of the Certified Municipal Court Administrator Program, her annual salary will be increased by $5,000. So there's no confusion when that time comes.
So she's, by taking the interim position, we're moving her salary to $80,000. And then when she completes that certification, she goes from $80,000 to $85,000, effective whenever that happens.
Completed within the
Yeah. Would we have to consider another resolution at that time to appoint her as?
to appoint her as our certified court administrator, yes.
Okay. Questions, comments regarding resolution 2023-048?
No,
I'll take a motion to approve.
so moved.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'll take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote again, please. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Matters for new business, the matters township committee members want to put up for consideration? Seeing none, we'll go to old business, DOT improvements, Pluckman signage.
Yes, Mayor, that would be me. I did receive an email. Meredith and I are going back and forth on a couple other items with regard to the 118T Way, so we've been in touch lately. She did tell me that the sign assessment is taking a little bit longer than originally estimated because it's two different engineering departments that need to get together.
Yeah, I was also coming up 202, Robin, done by our neighborhood. I also noticed that there's some older pedestrian crossing signs mixed in with some newer pedestrian sign crossings. And my guess is some of those older ones are no longer up to code. And once again, if they aren't, can they be removed? So I know that's part of the ongoing DOT discussion, but something, if you're going to be in conversation with Meredith, pose that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Utilities. Colin is not here,
Okay.
so we are going to push off the utilities discussion until he returns next month. And Pluckman Park Housing, and I'll turn to Committeeman Stevenson and Attorney Bellardo.
No substantive update to report at this time, Mayor, but perhaps in the future, near future.
Okay. We do not have an executive session tonight, so what we'll do is we'll quickly go, well, or not, doesn't have to be quickly, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, sure.
We'll go through Township Committee comments, and then we'll adjourn for the evening. So we'll start with Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. We completed our basketball season this past week, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank Neil Mastrobono for doing an outstanding job running the back office stuff with the league. Robin, you will know.
And once again, this is rec basketball.
This is travel, this is
Not through the school, but
Correct.
through the
This is our-
Bedminster rec program.
Bedminster Rec program, travel team, and Neil was just phenomenal. I mean, he took care of everything. He just left it to us to coach. And, that was a real delight. It's not always like that. It's always hard dealing with the league, and they want to move teams up, move teams down, and we didn't have to deal with any of it. He just took all of that on himself and just let us do our thing as coaching. So I want to just thank him and recognize him, because they don't really ever get a chance to do that, it seems. But really, really solid job from him. I wanted you to know that. And just, in general, just a little bit bummed, right? I mean, I've been doing this for 20-something years, so it's over, and it was great. I had a great time doing it. No.
No, you can keep going.
I'm retired.
20 years, it's a good run.
Yeah, but I want to thank everybody. Robin, I started, here in town. I got involved in rec and the athletics, and took me through that into the coaching, and then culminates in yesterday. So off to high school we go, but throughout the ride, it's been great. Robin and Neil and everybody in between. It was, you guys always have us prepared with our literature and our schedules and gear and everything. It's really, really nice. And I hope that we're able to continue to have Bedminster basketball, right? I mean, so it's not Somerset Hills basketball, but that may be the future. We'll see. But it was a great ride, and I really appreciate all the kids out there in the community. It was just a really fun time. So bummed, but look back fondly on it.
Well, Doug, you've been, whether it was Little League or basketball, you've been a consummate volunteer and champion for the kids of Bedminster. And thank you
My
for
pleasure.
serving as coach for all those years.
Yeah, it's truly my pleasure.
Does he get some kind of pin or award? 20
No.
years is a long time.
No, just a loss in the
volunteer.
championship game.
Oh,
Parting gift.
oh my goodness.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Yes, I would like to also thank Doug for his years of volunteering. Our volunteers really are the meat and potatoes of our town, all of our volunteers, so thank you for that. I also wanted to thank Terry Van Allen for all her service as our municipal court administrator. I just like to know we are extremely grateful for all of her service through tumultuous times, through the pandemic, just like learning and relearning things. And welcome Daniela Cordero to her new position. I'm sure she'll do great, and that's all.
Great, thank you. So I should have mentioned this during subcommittee reports, but I did attend along with Colin, representatives from Somerset County, representatives from New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and MetLife. We put together a tour of the New Jersey Bioscience Center right off of Route 1 in North Brunswick, and we got to get a private tour by the EDA, which actually the Economic Development Authority actually operates that that facility. And it was a chance to see both the incubator space that's been set up for the life sciences, the biosciences, the biology and biochemical and the pharmaceutical startups who can operate there, and see if any of their ideas take root and expand. And when they expand, EDA also has a program, what they call step out labs, right? So you go from perhaps a 700, 1,200, or 2,500 lab facility to maybe a 5,000 or 6,000 or 12,000 square foot. And so now you're moving from, truly incubator to the next level. And they said that right now they are full up, a bit of a waiting list for companies looking to move into those types of spaces. And one of the reasons that we had this meeting was, one is to discuss with EDA the other financial incentives and the financial programs that are available for facilities like we've anticipated for the AT&T campus, both on construction and development devoted to types of life sciences industries and the other job-creating developments that New Jersey is looking to support, as well as the business attraction models that, NJEDA is operating and offering to bring in businesses, and particularly new businesses and new jobs into New Jersey. So that was one part of the meeting with EDA. And the other is to show the town and the county, as well as MetLife, is that this is something that could be replicated in some small capacity, perhaps, at the redevelopment of the AT&T campus, that EDA, Rutgers, and some other pharmaceuticals in New Jersey are sponsoring these incubator and step-out facilities to continue to promote New Jersey as a place of ideas, where ideas can be developed, be tested, if they proceed on to the next steps, and grow. It was interesting, Colin had said that this similar model was employed by AT&T when he worked there, and that he used to run a similar program where AT&T would sponsor the telecom startups or the step-outs. And if they liked it, maybe they would invest in it, or maybe they would buy those facilities. And so it's interesting that it's not just the state promoting this, but also private industry is also promoting the incubator space. So once again, I certainly don't anticipate 1 million square feet or more of incubator space at the AT&T campus, but it could be certainly a component of it, whether it was operated by someone else who's resident there, or by Rutgers or EDA taking some space that they would then offer it to other spaces. So they've got their facility in North Brunswick. Maybe they would want a facility that they would then manage the incubators in another place, such as Somerset County. So that was very interesting. Once again, it continues the very great relationship that we have with Somerset County Planning and Economic Development, and we will continue to see what we can get going there. And that's all I have for tonight. So at 7:55, Gina, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, for
that was-
doing all that.
Thanks for dealing with that. How large of a space is that?